Hello everyone, welcome back to Trending Nigeria. I'm Adenuga Progress. Nigeria's Nobel Laureate Professor Wole Soyinka has revealed that his United States visa has been revoked, effectively preventing him from entering the country. The shocking revelation was made on Tuesday during a press briefing at Kogi's Harvest Gallery, Freedom Park, Lagos Island.
Dear Mr. Soyinka, this letter serves as official notification by the United States Consulate General in Lagos that the nominated visa listed below has been revoked pursuant to the authority contained in the U.S. Department of State Regulation, blah, 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 and it's no longer valid for application for entry into the United States, etc. Additional information became available. I repeat that, additional information became available after the below visa was issued. The revocation refers only to visa listed below. Name of visa holder, Wole Soyinka. Date and place of birth, 13 July 34, Nigeria. Visa classification, symbol B1/B2. I'm giving these details because I'll be referring to that visa shortly. Date and place of visa issuance, 2nd April 2024, Lagos. I will read the latter part later on for dramatic reasons. I don't want to read it now. I want to read it towards the very end.
According to Soyinka, the decision by U.S. authorities came as a surprise, especially as he had been scheduled to attend a number of events in the United States. The 90-year-old literary giant has been a frequent traveler to the U.S. for lectures, residencies, and academic engagements spanning several decades. Over the years, Professor Soyinka has maintained strong academic and cultural ties with the United States, having taught in several American universities, including Harvard, Cornell, and Emory. His sudden travel restriction has therefore raised eyebrows among his associates and the Nigerian intelligentsia. While Soyinka has not accused the U.S. government of any political motives, the development has fueled speculation that it may be part of a broader tightening of global visa regulations.
So I got a letter from the ambassador. Very nice letter, very courteous. I wish always to stress this, that I have absolutely nothing against individual citizens as citizens of any nation. This is an issue which concerns the government. I have continuing good relationship with members of the consulate, the embassy. I received nothing but courteous treatment from them. I want to stress that. And so I received this letter in which he informed me that he was away when that letter was sent, and that if I would please give him a call, he would try and explain the circumstances and so on and so forth. When I came back again, I got a letter, a reminder that I should call him. So I called. We arranged a call meeting. I think it was 4 o'clock about a week ago. And he explained, and again he offered a special visit by me. I'd be received by the consul, and then they would ask a few questions about the possible facts which existed that they didn't know about when this visa was issued. He spoke frankly, and I said, shall I be equally frank with you? I'm not interested. It has nothing to do with me personally. It has to do with the treatment which I know, the brutal, cruel, and often unbelievable treatment being meted out to strangers, immigrants, even in some cases, permanent residents, which of course include quite a number of Nigerians. I know of a number of Nigerians who were turned back, who live in the United States, who've lived there all their lives. Some of them have businesses, they have grown-up children, families who are even citizens of our country, but who just left in the normal way to visit home, and then found at the airport they weren't allowed to get on that plane. Because in the meantime, either their visas were under examination or had in fact been revoked, but they were not allowed to go back there, etc., etc. I don't want to run into you all know what's been going on. It's all over the media. You have friends, you have families there. So I said, it's not about me. I'm not really interested in going back to the United States. I said, but a principle is involved. Human beings deserve to be treated decently wherever they are, wherever they drop their buckets, even places where they're just visiting briefly. I said, I'm sorry, I will not apply for a new date. So he sighed and said he was very sorry, but that meant that my visa would be revoked. I said, by all means, I'd be willing to receive the letter of revocation. And I assured him that both he and his staff are given permanent visa waiver anytime they want to visit the Autonomous Republic of Ijegba, situated in Abeokuta. There will be no reciprocal conduct from my principality. So he laughed, and eventually, of course, the formal letter arrived and I received it. So it's necessary for me to give this press conference so that people in the States who are expecting me for this event or that event or were thinking of it, not to waste their time. I have no visa. I am banned, obviously, from the United States. And if you want to see me, you know where to find me. It's as elementary as that. There's a comment which is necessary. So I asked myself, however, the visa doling department is now looking into past history, because this is a statement that certain facts have come up. We're talking about thousands of people, by the way. I want us always to bear that in mind. So they've dug backwards, and if you remember, there were statements to the effect that anybody with any past criminal act, even felony, just misdemeanor, was qualified for revocation of visa. So I had to start looking back. Have I ever misbehaved in the United States? Do I have a history? Have I been convicted? Have I gone against the law anywhere? And I remembered finally 2 instances, which I want to make public now, in case it is brought up later on. So they will say, you hid that one. I remember pleading guilty at the airport one day. I was landing in Chicago. That's my first major production in the United States. We were in rehearsals at the time, Death and the King's Horseman. And the night before I left, I had to dash to London and then return for rehearsals. The night before, I'd gone to an Indian restaurant in London. And as usual, when I go to, when I am in those cold, wintry countries, I always carry peppers with me. At that restaurant, which is Indian, when I was leaving, I put a few green chilies in my pocket just to keep me going when I got back to Chicago. I forgot to declare those chilies. So I'm warning you now that you may learn that I was convicted for carrying some small chilies, because at the airport they wanted to charge me to court. And they said, but I could plead guilty and pay a fine. I think I remembered paying about $25 or so, for a few chilies. So that's one. That's one possible crime that could have been dug up, you know, and I'd forgotten all about it, quite frankly. That's my fault. So that's one. Two, AMSAC. AMSAC is acronym for American Society for African Culture. AMSAC had a huge international conference, I think some years also just before that, early 70s. I'm not good at dates. Anyway, and it took place in Atlanta, Americana, a motel in Atlanta at the time. And I fought I don't mean physically. I had, shall we say, a confrontation with the police, some racist conduct by the receptionist led to the police being called. And this police came and was trying to throw his weight around and so on. So I can be convicted, if you like, for, shall we say, for disobeying orders from law officers of the United States. This was at least 30 years ago. And eventually, I ended up, as a matter of fact, what is the expression again? Integrating the swimming pool of that Atlanta. I tell you who was there at the time, at the incident. Emeka Anyaoku, the former Secretary General of the Commonwealth. In fact, it was he and the late Kola Day who stepped in and sort of diffused the situation. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the only two crimes I can consider myself guilty of.
Observers, however, note that given Soyinka's soaring status as Africa's first Nobel Laureate in literature, the U.S. Embassy may need to clarify the reasons behind this action. For now, Professor Soyinka says his primary concern is to avoid disappointing his international hosts who had scheduled events and conferences expecting his attendance. He has urged his colleagues and followers to take note, as he would not be able to travel to the United States until further notice. This revelation adds a dramatic twist to the public life of one of Africa's most respected voices for democracy, human rights, and freedom of expression.
So I thought I would let all of you know the possible catalogue of my crimes. Only one conviction, which I signed guilty at the airport for carrying a few papers. Otherwise, I don't know what else I could have done. But maybe I've also written plays about Idi Amin. Maybe it's about time I also write a play about Donald Trump. When he hears that I'm paying him the same literary compliment as I paid Idi Amin, maybe we'll reconsider and return my visa. Otherwise, I want to assure the consulate and the Americans here that I am very content with the revocation of my visa. And that, as I said, they are always welcome as individuals, as citizens, to interact on any number of levels that they wish, short, of course, of my going over there to the United States. I think that's all I want to say really about this whole issue. I said I would reserve a section of the letter to the last, rather than read it continuously. And you will understand why when I read it. That's the other thing I like about what's happened here. Aha. After that section which I read, it goes on to say, we request you bring your visa to the U.S. Consulate General, Lagos, for physical cancellation. To schedule an appointment, please email, etc., advance of the appointment. I like people who have a sense of humor. And this is one of the most humorous sentences or requests I've had in all my life, that I should bring my passport to the consulate to have it stamped on a page, cancelled. Will any of you like to volunteer in my place and take the passport from me? Because
we will continue to monitor this story and bring you updates as they unfold. What do you think could be behind the US visa ban on Wole Soyinka? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more breaking updates on Fact News. Thank you.